All right, welcome to Be Connected overview. You can see here on the screen that we have three Be Connected certified coaches, Cheryl Roberts, myself, Ricky Jean Wright, and the host today, Dave Roberts. Dave comes from he's actually a veteran in and I guess you'd call it the business world with all that business experience. He's the founder of Vision Warrior Networking. He's a podcast host with Warrior versus Zombies, and like I say, a experienced business person who has is actually a gatherer of people and a networking gatherer, and he has gathered a lot of people like us, and has we have found interest in the Be Connected platform because Dave told us about it. So Dave's going to told us about it again today.
All right, Ricky. Well, I'm gonna jump right in here, and I'm gonna talk to you about today what we're going to do. And I've got these top current big tech choices up on the screen, and I'm going to continue to talk, and then I'll come off the screen in a second. But I think most of you are familiar uh, with all these choices. So the reason why I'm doing this in the beginning here is because what I'm going to talk to you today about is getting, and we want to focus on the 5 components, soon to be 6, of the Be Connected platform. And I really want to encourage you to think about and weigh in if you see things here on the platform that enable you to understand exactly what we're doing here on the platform and why it's of benefit to you and the unique value that you can get out of it as a business owner, and also how it can help you have the impact and improve your ability to live your ideal day as we use this platform. And again, it's a toolkit, but it's a very well integrated toolkit. I love the vision of the platform. A lot of you are very familiar with Zoom. Nothing wrong with Zoom other than it's not integrated here. TikTok, 1-minute videos, getting people's attention, what's called short form videos. YouTube being able to both stream or to be able to stream from. Facebook having groups primarily, and basically again getting social connections. Instagram, a lot of video stuff, and LinkedIn, which originally was targeted to help people find jobs, connect to people who had jobs, and to recruit people who didn't. And now it has been bought by Microsoft. And essentially what we're dealing with in that world, all of those components coming up to this point, is they're all what I would call social media platforms. The difference between that and Be Connected, which is a social business platform, is that we are targeted at providing the maximum value to our members, independent of whether they want to advertise or promote on our platform. All of those are driven. The last one there is coming soon here. This quarter is called the market for Kajabi, Udemy, educational and platforms that enable you to get your coaching programs, your products and services out there, both digital as well as physical products and services, a lot of classes, those kinds of things. Monetize those and enable you to find your audience and serve your audience there. So I want to talk about that for a second, and then just to give you that background. And then Cheryl and Ricky, I'm going to ask you to kind of, as we go through this, kind of weigh in, and anybody else in the chat, if there's certain things that you found as we talk about, some of the whys we use things, and what we're doing. So I'm going to come back to you in just a second, but I'm giving you the 2-minute warning here as I get into looking at what BeeKonnected is, and what, if you're new to this platform, if you've just gotten here, before I tell you and go into an orientation, which we won't do today, this is what I would call a pre-orientation overview, is that we're going to go talk about what you've got your hands on. In other words, what BeeKonnected is, and not just the features and the functions and all the things that you hear about as people are trying to convince you. But what is it? Why would you use it? What's the value? And where could you take your business with this platform? So let's talk about BeeKonnected. Let's talk about the 5 components. I'm not going to break down each of these slides. I may hit on a few of them, other ones just to kind of show you if there's questions, if we have time. But the most important thing I'm going to talk to you today about is that there is 5, soon to be 6 components of this platform that enable you to, as I say it, get from the top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel. If you don't understand marketing funnels, you start with a big thing where you're trying to be noticed. You try to get your message out. You might do that through television advertising, radio advertising, posts on social media, which we'll talk about in a second. A lot of different things that people become aware of you. They just know you exist. That's really the top of the funnel. Once you know that they know you and they both know you're there, then you're trying to work your way down the funnel to where you get to really what I would call a place of trust, where then you can actually start doing and referring and collaborating on business. And that's what BeeKonnected in its original idea, which was the connection generator. That's where BeeKonnected came from, where you can connect to people that you align with, that are going after the same markets, that you can collaborate with. Referral partners sometimes called, not necessarily, but not you that you can't, targeting at who's going to buy your stuff, because there's so many more people that can buy your stuff, that you really, that's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is getting to the place where those people that know about you, trust you. And so that's what BeeKonnected is built on. So we have video conferencing. That's the Zoom-like feature that we're talking about here, where you can have a meeting, you can have a one-to-one, but what you can really have, which is the most powerful, is this ability to have fully customized back end or website. You can't, the things that you can do on this platform, you can have actually up to 3 if you're a paid member like I am. Now, I'm not sure why in this window I'm only seeing my get your biggest ROI link, but there's another one that is available that usually says, and I'll update it for the replay, is Warrior Networking. Then the other one is a one-to-one. So you can get very
That's what I'm seeing those on mine.
Oh, okay.
Me
Well, I'm
too.
not. Oh,
Me
good.
too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good. I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm only seeing, the one at the top. So that makes me feel good that you guys are seeing it. It could be that when I updated it, I didn't. So thank you guys for helping me with that. So, but I'm going to talk, we have video broadcasting. What does that mean? Sometimes you hear of products like broadcasting to Facebook. You see somebody live streaming. We can stream to 5 platforms at the same time very easily, and default to go to Facebook, to YouTube, to Facebook groups, Facebook pages, personal pages, that kind of thing. But you can also stream to LinkedIn. There you have to have, customize. We're working on being able, but you can stream up to 5 platforms at the same time. You can also, there used to be back in the days that I started, because I started with social media before there was even a Facebook. with a thing called MySpace, and there were some other products out there, and even before LinkedIn came on board. And I can tell you that we used to talk about this thing called organic traffic. And the reality of it is, if you're on a social media platform, that's not a thing. It is, or at least not a significant thing, because they're only going to give you enough. They're going to drip out enough of your content to possibly get a couple of people to notice, even if you have thousands of people in your group, or in your connections or anything else, because what they want you to do is, if you have good content, is to pay them to advertise for you, just like all the football games and stuff. The NFL has the content, and they're basically trying to advertise to the people that are watching that content. That's what those social media platforms are like. So we do have a feed, can be called, your news feed. It can be called whatever, on all those other social media platforms. We have one that you actually get organic traffic, because everybody that is in the database, if you're a paid member, is exposed to your platform. They can follow. So there's all kinds of functions we can do there. When there's billions, not just millions, there's billions of groups on Facebook, for example. Those are affinity groups. Again, if you want to build a group a lot of people have groups in Facebook. On this platform, everybody in your group, when you post, is notifying that you got a post. Everybody in your group is going to see your post. They're going to be able to interact with your group. Everybody that, even as a free member, you can join groups that are public groups. We can also have private groups. And finally, the existing function that was kind of like is called the instant leads, or the AI that we have on the platform, which is the connection generator. That basically, if your profile is built out, gives you feedback, and aligns you, suggests 6 people aligned on things that are in your private profile, not necessarily what people see when they come, but things that you said, these are the kind of people I'm targeting. Here's the kind of services I offer. Here's the size of companies, types of people I'm looking for. You put all that in there. It's kind of like a dating software for business, and it offers you up to those people. We also have on that, once you're connected with people, the ability to score that connection on a 1 to 5 scale, just like an Uber ride. So again, that's all very powerful stuff. And then we are coming up with, if you're familiar with Kajabi, Udemy, where you can now not only build a relationship, but if you have products and services that you can offer on this platform, or groups that you want to connect in, that'll be what we call premium content that's going to be available. So it's like you can go to your Netflix main dashboard and select shows, programs, products, services, content, if you will, that you would be interested in. So let me come off screen here and engage my 2 counterparts here. When you think about those 5 things, Ricky, I know you and I have talked about this quite a bit, and Cheryl as well. What do you think about when you're talking about why somebody would want all 5 of those in one place, and so on, or what kind of value have you seen, and so on?
Well, for me, having everything in one place is an organizational help, that if I jump from thing to thing to thing, I don't get anything done. It seems like I'm too scattered. It's like that thing that I've heard just recently is, it's not the next 20 things I need to get done. It's the next thing I need to get done, and mark that off the list. And I love having everything together in one place. And for me, it makes me a better organized person, because believe me, I need that.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant, and I agree with as someone myself with ADD, it's very easy for me to get involved in one thing and then over to another, and kind of not be able to not follow through as smoothly because of the limitations. Cheryl, what do you think about that?
Well, a little bit different tact on it is do a lot of those functions and they're all in one place. But what also I like about it is it appeals to people who maybe only care about one of those 6 things. So you get a diverse group of people. You get some people who want to train people and have classes and premium content. You get some people who just want to get some leads. You get some people who just want to have a video conference. So you bring together people with a lot of different needs to the same platform.
Yeah, I love that. And it is an important thing. For those of us, and I know Randy is a master at asking questions. And one of the things he said is the transition from one component to the other truly seamless? And the answer to that simply is yes, as seamless as anything is. There are things that are, one of the things I didn't mention early on that's important to understand. If you've ever been a part of technology that is just coming out, like when LinkedIn started, when Facebook started, when any of those platforms started, there was what I call some wonky, even when Zoom started, right? That's where I came up with the term wonky, was when we were having to do all of our in-person networking and connection and that kind of stuff using Zoom as opposed to in person. And then when we were going hybrid, to have both in-person and virtual people in the room, which we do, by the way, every Wednesday. So if you're on this platform and you'd like to participate in a group that meets in person in Dallas, Fort Worth area, even if you're part of Dallas, when you're on one side of town or another, you can join us virtually. So that's available there.
Dave, Randy had a question about if the transition from one tool to another is truly seamless.
Yeah, actually, that was what I was just talking about, because I had seen that as well. So Randy, one of the things is you have to, that I was starting to say is that it is seamless to the extent that I know it'll get better as time goes on. All the components are there. You can go from the feed. To give you an example, so I get a connection request from somebody that I've never met before or that showed up on the platform in my asking me to connect. I'm going to say yes if they seem. I mean, we don't have bots and assistants and things like that. People on the platform, which is a big thing, are real people. These are people that, in fact, unless their profile is 80% built out, you have a difficulty even connecting to them. So let's assume that somebody's on the platform, they're connected, and they reach out to connect to you. As soon as they connect to you, you get a chat message. You can put a chat message to them just like on other platforms and begin the dialogue with them in your BeeKonnected chat function. You can also recommend that they join your groups, and you can use the virtual meeting platform to schedule a virtual one-to-one. Actually, it's easier for me to meet with people on this platform that might be in places like Australia, Sweden, South America, places that I'm now building my network with. It's easier really to connect and start to build a relationship with trust many times than it is somebody that shows up into the Warrior Networking Richardson Plano in-person meeting, because they can quickly schedule a one-to-one. We can get together and we can begin the journey of building a relationship, which is really what we're all about, right? And that's what you're about. If you're running or in part of a networking group, I know most entrepreneurs, small business owners are working in groups. So yes, you can get from that to a one-to-one. Then from a one-to-one, you can help get that person's message out. For example, on this platform, using this live in the hive function that we're using here today for this overview, is where I conduct my warrior versus zombie live in the hive podcast. And I take that, can record it just like we're doing here. This will be recorded. The replay be up if you're joining us late or you see this later, and you can find the people. The other thing is, if you're in the actual BeeKonnected chat as opposed to in my virtual room, like some of you, Jeffrey and Randy, are, you can actually go, if you come in through the live in the hive chat, everybody that posts in there, they can click on it either in the meeting or after the meeting, because it will remain, and they can follow up, connect with you. So again, it's very organic, very easy. On the feed, you can, if you see something somebody likes, you can copy the link and send it out to other platforms. It just makes it all there in one place. And if you want to stream out, like if I wanted to stream this overview to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to whatever, we could be live on those platforms. And again, it's all here, all in this platform, and doing that live streaming to not only back to BeeKonnected, but to those, like we do with Live in the Hive, you can stream to all those other platforms and let other people see what's going on and bring people into the platform. So that's a great question, Randy. As always, Randy is an amazing, he doesn't necessarily have all the answers, as I say, but he definitely is a great guy to ask questions. What other questions, thoughts that occur to you, Ricky? Any other thoughts? The organization thing is important. What other things? I know you've looked at some of, building some communities on here. Ultimately, as we move into the premium content, possibly doing some things with your music and other merchants. Just building some affinity groups there. What other thoughts do you have on the whole integrated platform? We're not going to go a lot deeper on that unless somebody has a specific question about one of the 6 components. So this is what we're going to focus on today. Ricky, your lips are moving, but I can't hear you.
Sorry about that. I was coughing a while ago, so I muted myself.
Yeah,
I think Cheryl brought up something that is overlooked, and I'd like to expound upon it just a little bit.
Okay.
A lot of people who come to BeeKonnected, or they look at BeeKonnected, they say to themselves, or maybe out loud, well, I'm not a big promoter. I don't have big, large seminars with and the capabilities of that is kind of, beyond me. I'm a smaller, my circles are smaller than that. But I think what Cheryl brought was that this really fits everybody, and not just the people that do large video conferencing, which this platform is just ideal for that. But it's also ideal for people who want to switch. Okay, for instance, when I came on board, I can put LinkedIn and Zoom together, and I can use those 2 ideas, and I don't have to mess with different places. And one of the things that I think drives people like me crazy is that there's all these different social media platforms, and do I have time to post on all of them? And I love the idea of at least taking those 2, the LinkedIn business idea and the Zoom business idea, putting those together with and BeeKonnected has done that. Well, there's time saved right there for me. Sure.
Yeah,
I really like that idea.
Yeah, I love that, Ricky. There's so much there that you just said. First of all, having the tools that anybody really is an entrepreneur. A lot of times it's so difficult to figure out how to connect all these pieces. And Ricky, I'm going to mute you because I'm starting to hear the feedback again, and you can unmute when you're ready. So the thing is, with all these pieces, the thing is having to learn all of those, because everyone, there may be a lot of similarities, but they're all different. So learning that, being able to do that, some people have already opted out of maybe having content. Ricky and I have talked, for example, about he writes songs, he sings songs, he performs, and you say, well, that's not necessarily something that would be, this platform would advance my business. And I would say, no, that's not true, because frankly, you can go in, you can build an affinity group. It might even give you a potential income stream, because some people would like to understand how to use music that's been written in a podcast or in that kind of thing. Do that. And actually other musicians, artists might have limited their exposure beyond, or maybe just only what they can do in person, without, because in trying to get it on those other platforms, again, you're going to spend a lot of money. I mean, people don't realize how much time and money they spend in trying to get their message out on those. I was talking to somebody, I said, what do you think you spend on trying to get noticed, from again, what I call the top of the funnel, which is somebody notices me, then to working through that to where some very relatively, in fact, very small percentage of the people that start at the top that know you exist, you're ultimately have a relationship of trust where they're doing business or referring business to you, and they go, wow, I don't know, I don't even know, if they're successful, they probably hired lots of people to help them through that process, virtual assistants, in-person assistants, those kinds of things. Right here, entrepreneur, not saying those things are wrong, I'm just saying the need for that, the amount of time for that is here. Cheryl, I know you were monitoring the chat. I could see, did Randy or anybody else have questions on the virtual chat that we ought to address here? Because I do want to address things that people bring up in the chat if I can.
Yeah, Randy was wondering if there's a process that people can follow to get acquainted with all the tools and who step by step how to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and as Randy, as is always the case, Randy is brilliant with his questions, and that's a great question. And the answer is, when you register as a new member, it goes through a series of pop-ups to say, do this, 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 this. And when you've done all those things, then you can click that and it won't pop up again, and so on. So that is part of the process. The other part of the process, one of the reasons why this isn't a how-to tutorial thing, is now under your Me tab on the BeeKonnected platform. And if you were on the BeeKonnected platform, over to the farthest right, there's a Me tab, and under there, if you clicked on that, it would bring you to, you could see where there are tutorials, and there's a tutorial that tells you how to set up your Be Virtual platform and walks you step by step through that and how to do it, and so on. So there are tutorials. So we don't invest a lot of time in these sessions. This is one of the things we're launching in these pre-orientation, is strategies around why. Because a lot of people, the features, functions, do this, do that, that doesn't get them energized, because what that all sounds like is a lot of work, right? And so what we're trying to do here is help you understand what the strategies might be and how to get value out of the platform. So that's another great question, Randy. And the other thing is, I will tell you, also part of the process now is, Ricky mentioned in the introduction that he and Cheryl, and we've got about 10 coaches on our team, and there's over 100 elite coaches that are in different parts, different time zones, that do orientations and that can support anybody on the platform, because we recognize that until you put it to use and see the value, a lot of times it's very difficult to invest the time and money, because, you know, a lot of us, I don't know about anybody else here, but I know I've invested a lot of time and money trying to do a lot of these things in a one-off fashion or whatever. And here, you know, the most expensive package right now is $49.95 a month, period. Not enough. There's no upfront, but you can be on this platform for free and participate in most of it. It's just, once you figure out how to use it and for yourself, and you're in business, the most expensive, which is platform, is worth doing. So any other questions that came out, Cheryl, from there? That Ricky Jean, go ahead. Just unmute if you're. I think you're both. You and Cheryl are both muted.
I think there's something going on with y'all's internet service, because you're to skip now.
Okay. Well, we're both on the same router, so it could very well be. So hopefully this isn't the recording will be okay. We'll see. But thanks. Cheryl, did you have anything else? You were talking, I think, but
I was talking with my mic turned off. Yeah, Randy just has some suggestions going forward on some training things, so I think we can take a look at that
okay,
later and figure out how to take advantage of some of that.
Great. So anyway, so the value in this whole thing becomes the thing I feel like you need to focus there. Again, the dollars and cents of this are so inexpensive that if you're really in business, it's hard to imagine that once you understand the capabilities and the potential, that you wouldn't jump into this with both feet. But it can be intimidating to learn new technology and learn something new. I know I steer away from that because I know how much time investment. And that's part of why we're doing this on the platform, is that we're enabling people to, we call ourselves Sherpas. At least that's what I call our group. And that just means that we've been down the road a little further than you have, and we can tell you where the potholes are and where the value is. And oh, look over here. Here's a beautiful view over here. Here's some things that you can do that I've done with it. So I've done masterminds. I do virtual and hybrid meetings. I've been on the platform since it was a concept, and we didn't have any of this, because this is still considered an innovator stage of the business. So just get in. It's completely transforming. The next iteration of this major iteration, when you're on the platform, is going to look different. If you've been on the platform for a while and just revisited today, you're going to go, wow, I didn't realize all the things that were possible on this platform, because we're continually improving it. We just are getting some investors in here, and things are about ready to explode. So it's a great time to get in, learn, and add, figure out how to add value, how to serve your audience, how to serve your network, how to connect to the right people, and really get quickly into building relationships with folks. So again, I hope I'm not breaking up there. I know I was hearing Ricky and Cheryl pretty well at this point. So any other thoughts, questions, Ricky, Cheryl, anybody in the chat before we land the plane here for this episode? Ricky's got a thumbs up. He's good. Cheryl, anything from your end, or your thumbs
I'm
up
good.
too?
Yep, I'm good.
Well, I appreciate everybody being here. If you're watching this in replay, feel free to weigh in with any comments. Reach out to me. If we're not connected on BeeKonnected, go ahead and send Ricky or Cheryl. Ricky and Cheryl both, I would encourage you to at least make one post, because one of the things is when you share something in the chat. I just came off of a Zoom meeting, and I'm starting to, some people say, well, this is different, or Zoom is, this is not even, there's no comparison. You can fully customize your presence here in your virtual meeting room. And if you post something in the chat when the replay is posted and you come back to that chat, it will be there for people to click on your name and say, hey, I want to connect with Cheryl, or hey, I want to connect with Ricky, which, by the way, I would highly recommend that you connect with both of them on BeeKonnected and start your journey of building a relationship with them. If you're being on the platform, free or otherwise, invite your friends. This is still invitation only platform. So somebody has to basically refer you here. If you come in, you can get in, but then you're going to be assigned to somebody. And but anyway, I appreciate everybody being here, and I will see you at this time a week from today, and I will be doing another one of these types of overviews. May or may not focus on the high level, but probably we'll do this again at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, so we can serve our Australian audience, catch them in the civil part of their day. So have a beautiful day.